Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm out here in the garage. I literally just showed up from the range. I just pulled into the garage here, and I have a couple stories to share with you, some range stories, and then I want to talk about the guns I shot tonight, what I discovered about them, and then talk about a possible scam that one of the friends of the channel has told me about that I definitely think I should share with you, especially if you like high-end guns. So let me get to a crazy range story first. So I was at the range tonight filming footage for two guns. Both of these are those South African guns, the SP1, which is kind of like a Beretta 92 clone, and the CP1. Both of these are by a company called Vektor. This one's like a PPK meets HKP7. So it has like a gas piston delay system in here. Very, very interesting firearms. But anyway, I was there at the range, and it was an introvert's dream because, you guys know I have like 24-hour biometric access, and I try to go later at night when no one else is going to be there because I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to bother anybody else, and it's just easier for me that way. And I don't have a lot of, noise in the background. So I'm filming a segment, and I hear what sounds like someone trying to get in the door. I thought somebody kind of like pulled the door. So I finished whatever I was doing, and I kind of stopped, put the gun down, and I thought maybe it was only a VIP member trying to get in. So I opened the door. I don't see anything. My car is right there in the parking lot. I kind of look around. It's dark. And then kind of like down the way, I saw a police cruiser. And I just thought that maybe because it's an empty parking lot, the police were just there. You know how like sometimes they just park and they sit on their brakes or whatever. And so I was like, okay, I don't see anybody, nothing going on. Let's go back to what I was doing. So I was filming some more segments, and then I got done. I think I brought the target in, and I turned the camera off. I'm taking the target down, and I hear the door on the other side, and kind of like the inside of the range open up, and I hear police. I was like, okay. And I kind of turn around, and it was two police officers, and both of them had their guns drawn, not pointed at me, but kind of down to the ground. I guess what they told me happened was they had an alarm go off. And of course, this is like a range and retail outlet, a retail store. So obviously, if you get an alarm at a gun shop, they're going to go and check it out. And so them not knowing who I was and what I was doing there, they're like, so what you doing? I was like, filming for a YouTube channel. And they saw I had all my equipment out and everything kind of laid out. And they holstered their weapons and then said, do you have an ID? And I was like, in my mind, I was like, well, I'm not doing anything illegal. However, I am on private property. This might not be the time and place to fight my constitutional rights at this point. I was like, what's the point in having an argument? So I just showed them my license in CHL, or I guess here in Texas it's called an LTC. And they gave it back to me, and they had to double check that I really had biometric access to it. I had to go outside and get back in. They're like, yeah, we had an alarm. We had to make sure that nothing's going on. Fine. I've just never seen the police come through a range, and then I've never had police officers have unholstered weapons, in my vicinity, and I'm the only one around. I wasn't like anxious or nervous or anything. They just said they didn't like point the weapons at me. And of course, they were going into a situation where an alarm had gone off, and here's a guy with guns and shooting on a range. So I guess I understand. But that was kind of a crazy situation. And then while I was there, towards the end of my session, another VIP member that I know came in. We were talking about the Guns of SHOT Show. And he said, hey, have you seen that new Daniel H9? I was like, yeah, I've seen it. It looks really interesting. I really want to, try one out. I recently reviewed the Hudson H9. And he said, David, who is actually the same person that mentioned about this scam I want to talk about later. I'm not going to mention his last name. He's like, yeah, he was able to get one early. And I was like, what, David? How's that? He's like, oh, yeah, he has like a huge YouTube channel. I was like, he does? Like, I didn't know that. And so we started talking. I'm like, are you sure we're talking about the same David here? Because I don't know. Like, anyway, it turned out it was somebody that had the same name and same last name as my friend David. And I was like, wow, I had no idea. And it turns out there's two people that are like VIP members of the same gun club with the same last name that are into the same stuff. But he showed me the YouTube channel, and it was not the David that I knew. So I was like, oh. So that was kind of weird. I mean, how many people, you know, I don't know. That was just kind of weird to me. I guess it's just a small world. Kind of a boring story. But anyway, let's talk about the guns that I reviewed tonight at the range. Let's talk about the one I actually shot second first. The CP1 from Vektor. As I said, this is kind of like a Walther PPK meets an HK P7. Has a gas piston delayed system in it. And a lot of people think this is a really cool gun because it's like the HK P7. Let me tell you, this gun, I don't want to say sucks. I think mechanically it's interesting, but the sights are way off on it. And I mean way off. It's mainly the elevation in that when I sight this thing in, even at close range, it shoots way low, like way low. I had to put the dot in the front way higher than the rear sights to get it anything close. And I still couldn't kind of figure out exactly where it needed to be. So this gun was not accurate. This gun also had problems feeding. With both magazines, I had failures to feed. Not every round, and by the way, this is chambered in 9mm, was going to go into battery. So it would not, it's like, oh, it kind of, nope, it's not in there. So I would have to, you know, pull the slide back, and then I might have a double feed. I had some issues with that, and I discovered that, especially on a full magazine, you got to make sure this slide is all the way back, and you got to let it go. It has to go home hard for it to always chamber around. And so the reliability on this gun and the accuracy on this gun was not what I wanted. I definitely feel the quality and see the potential in this gun, but this gun did not perform well for me. But it's definitely interesting. It also has this weird safety here in the front of the trigger guard. So, of course, red is dead. That's on safe. And one time, I discovered, because I had the gun, of course, on fire. I loaded it. I was going to do one of the portions where I do like the shooting from like my range bag, you know, like the barrier test. And I guess I put it up there, and I inadvertently touched that safety. And it went back on, or maybe it kind of rubbed up on the bag or something. I don't like this safety at all. I guess it works well on like, you know, M1 Garands or whatever, but on a pistol, this, in my opinion, is a no-go. So this was okay. I think I got an interesting take on this gun, but as much as I wanted to love this gun because it's like the P7, I definitely came away going, not a good gun. Even though it still is a collector gun. Now, let's talk about the other one, the SP1, which is like the Beretta 92, but it does not have an open slide design. Let me tell you that this gun is awesome. This gun is awesome. Very light recoiling. Trigger in this thing is fantastic. Very accurate for me. Very accurate. In fact, this is one of the most accurate guns, or naturally accurate guns for me, because you guys know I'm just an average gun guy, of any gun I've ever reviewed. This thing shot amazing. This thing shot amazing. I'm very, very impressed with this gun, just all around. Very similar, as I said, to a Beretta. It's kind of weird to have this frame-mounted safety, and I really want one of these now. Yeah, so this is these are both on loan to the channel from Jack number 2, and this is one of those guns that I know Jack had told me he's thinking about thinning his collection. So this is a pistol I may have to make an offer on. I don't know if he wants to sell this one specifically, but this is one awesome firearm. Awesome firearm. And I was like, it's probably going to be okay. This one is a lot of fun to shoot and is really good. The only issue with it is I think the action of the slide moves a little bit slow, and that's because I think this gun needs a new recoil spring, which should be the same as a Beretta. But I'll have to look into that. But I think it needs to be resprung. But everything else about the gun was great. So I think it just needs a new recoil spring. But this thing was awesome. This is going to be a really good range report. So those are the two guns I shot tonight and kind of my initial impressions about them. So yeah, I really want this. I really want this one a lot. This really blew my mind. All right, so let's talk about a scam that I want to make you guys aware of. Speaking of my friend David, who has lent guns to the channel in the past and has an incredible taste in firearms, absolutely loves 2011 pistols, and he has a lot of connections at companies like Nighthawk Custom and Wilson Combat. And he told me that he was talking to some of his, I guess, friends in the industry, because he orders firearms from them and has them shipped to his local FFL and all that. And of course, all these are high-end companies. He was told that there are people right now that are creating mirror websites that look like the high-end gun manufacturers, where you can order parts and order complete guns, and they're complete scams. Like, they're not real. So I kind of did a little bit of an investigation into this, and it does look like this is happening right now in the gun world. The companies that David mentioned to me that are having an issue is Nighthawk Custom, Atlas Gunworks, and Wilson Combat. But those are just the ones that he's dealt with, so there might be others. And of course, those are companies that make high-end guns that are, you call in and you place an order. It's all customized. You can do it through their website, and then when they're done, they're shipped to your local FFL. So as I said, the issue is people are going online, maybe Googling the website, and they'll see something that looks like Nighthawk Custom, and they click it, and it looks just like the real thing. And somehow on the search engine results, they're getting their mirror site above the actual one. I don't know how that is and how that's done, but it looks like people are clicking the top link, and it's not really one of those companies. And people go on there and they order what they want, they send the money, and it's complete scam. So what David told me that his contacts in the industry said to do is that if you are buying anything from one of these places, and maybe this is probably a good idea for most, if you're spending a lot of money at a gun, either buying gun parts or customized guns, put what you want in the cart, and then make sure that you call the company, because they're all going to have customer service lines, especially if they're a very reputable company, they'll be on the website. Call them and make sure that your order is in the cart and that they can see it. I guess these people are saying they're having to fight, I guess they've hired these, IT guys to come and fight, and the lawyers are taking care of stuff. But it looks like a bunch of people have been scammed recently, trying to order high-end stuff through mirror sites that aren't the actual company. So I'm just putting that out there. I don't really know if it was just these companies that were affected or it was other companies, but be safe. If you're ordering and spending a lot of money online, a big order, it might be good to just call the company, make sure you're talking to a real person that works for the company, because their number is going to be on their website. You can find it online, and then make sure they can see it before you spend the money to avoid getting scammed. So I just wanted to put that out there as a public service announcement, and that is what my friend David told me about. So I think that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. Gun range stories, 2 guns, and a scam alert. So be on the lookout for that. If you are one of those collectors that buy high-end custom stuff, be aware. And if Jack is watching this, be prepared for me to make you an offer on this. This gun is awesome. It's amazing. But if you don't want to sell, I understand. But just getting the chance to shoot this thing was awesome. This thing is phenomenal. Phenomenal gun. So anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. So another garage gun talk in the book. So let me know what you guys think about anything I mentioned tonight. I always appreciate you guys joining me here in the garage. I love chatting guns, telling range stories, talking about guns, the industry, whatever is going on. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys want to talk about. And so what is the word of the day? The word of the day. Let's make the word of the day. I guess we'll make it, well, I was going to say let's make it scam, but that's not a positive word. I was like positive words for the word of the day, for the most part at least. Let's say, boy, I'm having a, because I talked about a story, let's say police. Police is the word of the day. So if you made it to the end, to let me know that you made it to the end, say police, because the police visited me at the range tonight, and that was a first for me. So there you go. That is the word of the day. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.